Welcome to part 2 of Let's Play Temple of Terror by Ian Livingstone. At the end of the last part I was on paragraph 379. Let's reread this paragraph as a reminder. Okay, looking up you see a road sign indicating that you are in Clog Street. You walk down it all the way until it ends at a T-junction, where it meets Harbour Street, which runs parallel to the shore. You look out to sea and watch the setting sun sink slowly beneath the horizon. Darkness envelops you and you wonder where to go next. At the end of the street to your left there are lights shining in windows and you can just hear the sound of singing and laughter. You decide to head towards the lights and soon find yourself outside the Black Lobster Tavern. You walk through the doorway into a smoke-filled room where seedy-looking characters sit at crowded tables, laughing, joking, and singing. You walk straight up to the barman and ask if he has a room for rent. Luckily there is one available. You pay him 1 gold piece, done that already, for the room and ask if he knows of any ships which may be sailing south the next morning. I might do, he replies somewhat cagily, but information does not come free in Port Blacksand. Another gold piece and I'll introduce you to the ship's mate. Once again you reach into your pocket and pay the barman. Done that already. He leads you over to one of the booths along the far wall of the tavern and points out a man with a silk scarf tied over his bald head and an ugly scar running down from his left ear to the middle of his chin. Gargo is his name, says the barman. You sit down next to Gargo, introduce yourself and ask if you can buy your passage south. 10 gold pieces and you'll have to work for your food, comes the curt reply. Gargo does not look like a man with whom to bargain, so you agree to his price and pay. We set sail 1 hour after sunrise. The name of the ship is the Belladonna, and you'll find her at the end of the jetty leading down from the tavern. I'll see you in the morning. I'm going back to the ship now, says Gargo. You decide not to get involved with any of the tavern's characters, but to retire to your room. You stand up and walk towards the stairs, but a large man carrying 3 flasks of ale bumps into you, spilling the drinks on the floor. If you wish to offer to buy him more ale, turn to 124. If you would rather tell him not to be so clumsy, turn to 203. Yeah, I've already paid the 10 gold pieces at the end of the last part. Anyway, we're going to tell him not to be so clumsy and turn to 203. Get this boy a bib. He needs his mama. Brownie points if you can tell me where that's from. Anyway, I'll show you who's clumsy, snarls the short-tempered man as he smashes the flasks into your face. Lose 1 stamina point. Takes us down to 21. If you wish to fight the man, turn to 45. If you would rather save your anger for Malbordus and make your way to your room, turn to 251. We are going to fight the man and turn to 45. Your burly opponent is a pirate, well practiced in swordsmanship. He quickly draws his cutlass from its scabbard as the eager crowd forms a circle around you. Pirate, skill 9, stamina 8. If you win, turn to 166. Okay, so we're fighting a pirate, and he's skill 9 and stamina what was it? Can't remember now. Stamina 8, sorry. For some reason I thought it was 6. Okay, 8, there we are. Okay, get the book back, and let's do the dice. Okay, my skill is 11, so we're rolling for him first. So 9 plus 7 is 16. I get 17, so 16 to 17. That means I win the first round. Takes 2 stamina points off him, there we are. Next, 9 plus 6 is 15. I get 19, so 15 to 19. Takes him down to 4. Whoops, that was a full stop. Don't want that. Okay, next. 9 plus 9 is 18. I get a 15. 18 to 15, that means he wins. Take off 2 stamina points. Okay, 9 plus 6 is 15. I get 21. So 15 to 21 and I win. 2. There we are. Okay, last one I hope. 8 plus 9 is 17. I get 22. So 17 to 22. That means I win, and he is defeated. Goodbye, Mr. Pirate. And that's the end of that. Let's get rid of the buzzing, because it is tremendously irritating. Right, okay. We won, so we turn to 166. The crowd does not stop you untying the leather pouch which is hanging from the dead pirate's neck. You leave the murmuring onlookers and climb the stairs to your room, where you lock yourself in. You open the pouch and find 2 gold pieces and a large pearl. Let's put that down. Gold, yeah, that puts us up to 11. And large pearl. Blimey, life is very cheap here, isn't it? It's not very nice. You know, just sort of killed him. Where are the police? You settle down to sleep and wake at dawn after a restless night. To your disgust, you find that you are covered with inflamed bites from the bedbugs in your straw mattress. Wasting no more time in the inhospitable Black Lobster, you make your way down the jetty to the Belladonna, which you see is flying the skull and crossbones, the flag of a pirate ship. Walking cautiously up the gangplank, you step aboard the ship. Turn to 238. You walk around the ship until you find Gargo. He tells you that one of his gunners was killed in a tavern brawl last night, and that you will have to take his place. Your job will be to load cannonballs during battle. You are taken below deck and shown your hammock. Soon the Belladonna sets sail, and you are pleased that at last you are heading south. In mid-afternoon there is a sudden shout from the crow's nest. Ship on the starboard bow. The ship is suddenly bustling with the crew running about their duties. The captain shouts his orders, and everybody runs to their battle stations. Wondering who the enemy might be, you take your place at your cannon. You hear the bad news that the enemy is a man of war and not a merchant ship. Noise suddenly erupts all around as the man of war's cannonballs, or man of war, whatever, cannonballs smash into the Belladonna. The order is given to fire, but you realize that the Belladonna is no match for the battleship. In the course of the fierce battle, the Belladonna starts to sink, and you fear for your life. Roll 2 dice. If the total is the same or greater than your skill, turn to 187. If the total is less than your skill, turn to 308. Unfortunately, now this one, yeah, if you fail, you're dead. So, yeah. So our skill is 11. We need this dice roll to be less than or equal to 11, I think. Which is 4. Good. So, that's good. Less than your skill. Yeah, 308. Here we come. As the ship starts to sink, all the cannon crew run towards the wooden steps that lead to the upper deck. You are one of the first to reach the steps and manage to get on deck just as the ship goes underwater. If you wish to grab a piece of the masthead and drift away from the man of war, turn to 293. If you wish to swim towards the man of war, turn to 230. Okay, we are going to swim towards the man of war and turn to 230. I know it's probably man of war, but I can't help but say man of war, I'm afraid. It's a bit like Rainier Wolfcast saying up and at them instead of up and at them. I have a similar sort of thing going on there. Anyway, you swim furiously towards the man of war and wave your arms to attract attention. A rope is thrown down to you and you haul yourself onto the victor's ship. Much to your surprise, the crew are made up entirely of dwarfs. The captain questions you and other members of the sunken Belladonna's crew, who have also been brought aboard. You tell the captain that you are on an important mission which started at the dwarf village of Stonebridge. The captain eyes you suspiciously, accusing you of being no more than a desperate pirate. So you say you started your quest in Stonebridge, says the captain. If that is the case, tell me who is their king. If you reply that his name is Gillibrin, turn to 173. If you reply that his name is Gillibran, turn to 278. It's Gillibran, wasn't it? So 278, here we come. The captain laughs and says, "Stranger, you are telling the truth, but I fear you have a lot of explaining to do." That evening, over dinner, you tell the captain and his crew about your mission and its importance. Obviously concerned with the impending doom about to befall the good people of Alanzia, the captain offers to sail south to the Desert of Skulls. 2 days later, the man of war drops anchor, and you are rowed ashore to a white sandy beach. With your provisions restored to provide for 10 meals, courtesy of the ship's cook, you wave goodbye and set off on foot. All you can see is sand, and the desert landscape stretches as far as the horizon. I wish I'd used my provisions now, never mind. All you can see is the desert sand, and the desert landscape stretches as far as the horizon. If you wish to walk east inland, turn to 327. If you would rather walk south along the coast, turn to 151. We are going to walk east inland, so turn to 327, yeah. As you walk steadily east, you are suddenly aware of a buzzing sound overhead. You look up and see 3 giant wasp-like insects hovering above your head. Suddenly, one of the 3 needle flies dives down at you. If you wish to cast a magic arrow spell, turn to 118. If you wish to fight the giant insects with your sword, turn to 28. We are going to fight them with our sword, so turn to 28. Not wasting magic on this. Oh, great. Thrusting your sword into the air, you try to cut down the giant insect while it attempts to stab you with its long sting. Fight the needle flies one at a time. First needle fly, 5, 6. Here we go, I'll just do it one at a time. Or I'll write them down one at a time. First needle fly. 5 and 6, wasn't it? Okay, here we go. Okay, 5 plus 5 is 10. I get 22, so 10 to 22. Puts them down to 4. 5 plus 5 is 10. I get 18, so 10 to 18. That puts them down to 2. That's 13, and I get 17. Puts them down to 0, and now on to the second one. This one is 6 and 7, isn't it? Yeah, so let's do this. Just confirm that. Yep, 6 and 7 and 7 and 6. Okay, 6 plus 7 is 13. I get 21, so 13 to 21. This one's a bit harder. Puts them down to 5. 6 plus 10 is 16. I get 20, so 16 to 20. Puts them down to 3. To return the call, press 3. That was on the old 1471 on the phones here. You could sort of call you could find out who rang by pressing 1471, and when you did it, the woman on the other end, or the computer voice, said, "To return the call, press 3. So if you wanted to dial back a missed call, you could just press 14713. It's about as exciting as it got, really. Anyway, 9 plus 6 is 15. I get 19, so 15 to 19. So I don't know why I thought of that, just thought of 3 there. Right, 1, puts them down to 1, and then finally, in theory, 10 and 18. So 10 and 18, that's killed off Mr. Needlefly. Puts him down to 0. Okay, third Needlefly. This one was 7-6, wasn't it? Okay, 7 plus 5 is 12. I get 17. So 12 to 17. And that puts it down to 4. Next, 12 to 20. Puts it down to 2. And then lastly, oh blimey, 18 to 22. That was good. I got a high score as well. 18 to 22, and that's finished off Mr. Needlefly, the last of them. So that's the end of that. Yeah, there's no buzzing. Good, and let's carry on. So, yeah, turn to 168 if we won, which we did. So off we go. Okay, you step over the grounded needleflies and continue your trek. After half an hour's steady walking, you stumble upon a robed man lying face down in the sand. If you wish to stop to look inside a leather pouch clutched in the hand of the dead man, turn to 107. If you wish to keep on walking, turn to 10. We're going to look inside the leather pouch and turn to 107. The pouch contains nothing except a small golden key. You slip it into your pocket and continue your trek. Turn to 10. Okay, so we have a small golden key. Whoops, I said Golan. Yeah, and turn to 10. In the shimmering haze of the desert heat, you suddenly see a shape moving towards you. As it grows nearer, you see that it is somebody riding a camel. If you wish to speak to the desert rider, turn to 99. If you'd rather lie low and wait until the rider has passed by, turn to 257. We're going to speak to the desert rider and turn to 99. Speaking of the desert rider, there he is. That's a nice sort of effect they've done with the sun, but it does sort of look like a spider's web, so I don't know. Anyway, I suppose it's the best they could do, really. Anyway, we're going to turn to 99 so we can speak to the desert rider. On seeing you, the desert rider draws his sword and brings his camel to a halt. You call out, saying that you do not wish to fight him. You learn that he is on his way to join a merchant's caravan. You ask him if he has any water to spare, and he offers to sell you a canister, but not for money. If you can, and wish to trade either a silver button or a pearl for a canister of water, make the necessary adjustment on your adventure sheet. After bidding farewell to the desert rider, you set off east once again. Turn to 257. Okay, we are going to trade the pearl for some water. So I'll just say used. And then I'll start a new line and say, alright, canister of water. There we go. Turn to 257. Quite unexpectedly, the wind starts to blow and the sky grows dark. The wind becomes a howling gale and whisks up the sand, making it almost impossible to see. You are stranded in the middle of a sandstorm. Lose 2 stamina points and test your luck. Okay, so 2 stamina points takes us down to 17. And we have to test our luck. If you are lucky, turn to 129. If you are unlucky, turn to 385. Okay, so we need this to be less than or equal to 11. Which it is, good. However, we've used a luck point, so we have to put it down to 10. Okay. Yep, 129 because we were lucky. When the sandstorm finally dies down, you see a shining object protruding from the sand. You reach down, tug on the object, and discover that it is a brass handbell. You place it in your handbag and press on... Handbag? What am I saying? You place it in your backpack and press on east. Turn to 26. Okay, so we have a brass handbell. Let's write that down. Is it a sounding brass? Well, it would be a sounding brass, wouldn't it, because it makes a noise. Anyway, turn to 26. As the day draws on, your thirst becomes almost unbearable. If you possess a water canister, turn to 217. If you wish to and are able to cast a create water spell, turn to 372. If you have no means of drinking, turn to 84. Okay, we do possess a water canister, so turn to 217. You take a long gulp of delicious water, savouring the brief moment when your mouth does not feel as dry as the desert sand all around you. The afternoon sun continues to beat down relentlessly. I'll just say used for the canister of water. Yeah, continues to beat down relentlessly, its intensity causing shimmering waves of heat to rise from the parched sand. You resist the temptation to finish off the water and you press on. Oh no, I'll just say half used then. And you press on, turn to 303. Half an hour later, you see a low brown tent, which you recognize as the type used by desert nomads. A horse is tethered to one of the tent pegs. If you wish to make contact with the nomad, turn to 196. If you would rather head south to avoid the nomad, turn to 389. We are going to make contact with the nomad and turn to 196. You are no more than 10 yards from the tent from the tent when suddenly the flap is thrown back by a fat bearded man in yellow robes, his fingers adorned with ornate gold rings. He does not attempt to threaten you, but beckons you inside his tent, saying, "Stranger, you look in need of a rest. Please accept my hospitality. I may even tempt you to buy some of my exotic wares." Sensing no apparent danger, you step inside his tent and squat down on top of a rug. The nomad, whose name you learn is Abdul, gives you food and water which makes you feel much stronger. Add 4 stamina points. Takes us up to 21. Abdul then smiles and says, "Now, what will you buy, my friend?" He goes into great raptures about all the goods he has to sell, which you finally learn are as follows. Sealing wax, 2 gold pieces. Onyx egg, 3 gold pieces. Ivory beetle charm, 2 gold pieces. Bracelet of mermaid scales, 3 gold pieces. Silver mirror, 4 gold pieces. Crystal key, 3 gold pieces. Ebony face mask, 3 gold pieces. And bone flute, 2 gold pieces. If you can and wish to buy any of Abdul's goods, make the necessary adjustment on your adventure sheet. Abdul tells you that he thinks Vatos lies in the southern part of the Desert of Skulls, and you decide to take his advice. Thanking him for his help, you set off south, turn to 389. Okay, so there's Abdul. There's all his stuff. That's very nice. Okay, so... Okay, we are going to get the onyx egg. We are going to get the bracelet of mermaid scales, and we're going to get the crystal key. Okay, so that's 3, 3, and 3 gold pieces. That's 9 in total. So that takes us down to 2 gold pieces, and then we have all this stuff. So we have the onyx egg. We have the bracelet of mermaid scales, and we have the crystal key. Thank you. Come again. Okay. Yes, that's that. Let's turn to 389 now. Thank you, Mr. Abdul. Let's go. Not long after the tent is out of sight, you begin to feel a slight tremor in the ground beneath your feet. Suddenly the sand starts to shift before you. It rises into the air and then falls down in a great cascade to expose the long body of a huge worm. You realize with horror that a giant sandworm is about to engulf you with its spiked oval mouth. It is at least 20 yards long, and you must fight it. Giant sandworm, skill 10, stamina 20. Turn to 18, if you win. Okay, so giant sandworm, 10, 20. Giant sandworm. Worm. That's how Scottish people say worm. They don't say worm, they say worm. Okay, they also don't say murder, they say murder. Anyway, enough of my awful Scottish accent. There's been a murder. Murder. That's how they say it. Anyway, 20. There we go. Okay, so we're now fighting. So my skill is 11, like before. Okay, so 10 plus 9 is 19. I get 19 as well. So no damage to either of us. Okay, 10 plus 6 is 16. I get 23. So 16 to 23. That puts him down to... Oh, it's going to take me ages. 18. Whoops, wrong one. Need my glasses on. Alright, next. 17 to 16. He hurts me. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alright, whoops, done that thing again. Okay, so puts me down to 19. Using up Abdul's food that he gave me. Well, the stamina points I got for it. Anyway, 10 plus 11 is 21. I get 20. So 21 to 20. He hurts me again. Puts me down to 17. Next, 10 plus 10 is 20. 17. So 20 to 17. This is not going well, is it? It takes another 2 stamina points off, so 15 now. Okay, 10 plus 6 is 16. 14, so it's still going badly. So 16 to 14. Whoops, and that puts me down to 13. This is getting mildly concerning now. Alright. 10 plus 5 is 15. 16, good, right. Okay, 15 to 16, now we're getting somewhere. Puts me down to 16. I mean, him down to 16. Alright, 18 to 18, so nothing. Oops. Next, 19 to 15. Alright, puts me down to 11 stamina now. Brilliant. Where am I? Oh yeah, there I am. Next, 22 to 20. Puts me down to 9. Okay. 19 to 20. Good. Right. Puts him down to 14. Seriously, stop doing that. Alright, next. Is this my comeback? 16. 16 to 15. Clearly not. Puts me down to 7. Well, it is a sandworm, I suppose. Okay, 19 to 18. It's always one more, isn't it? Alright, puts me down to 5. Don't worry, we're nearly dead, everyone, so that's nearly the end of the series. Next, 18 to 15, yeah. Puts me down to 3. Nearly dead. 19 to 14. And then lastly, 16. Oh no, finally 16 to 23. I finally hurt it. 16 to 23. That puts him down to 12. Don't worry, we're nearly there. 15 to 18. I'm still going to lose this, you know. I don't think I'm going to win this, because I don't think I'll be able to get 5 hits in a row. 16 to 21. It's going to tease me, though, isn't it? It's going to make me think I can do it, and then at the last minute I'm going to lose. 15 to 20. It's still going to tease me. I know it. I know it is. I know it. I know it. Right, okay. 16 to... There we go. Thank you. Now I'm dead. Okay. So what I'm going to have to do is just have to start the whole fight again. Right, that's me dead once. Right, what did I start on? I think it was... yeah, it was 21 I started on, because that was the Abdul thing. Okay, round 2. I'm already dead. Let's do it again. Okay, so 10 plus 2 is 12. I get 18. So 12 to 18. Puts him down to 18. 16 to 22. Puts him down to 16. 17 to 18. 14. 20 to 21. 12. 18 to 15. Finally he hurts me. 18 to 15. Right, now we're on 19 again. Already dead once. 16 to 15. Let's do it now. 16 to 15. 18 to 18. Oops. 16 to 15. Oh, we're on a losing streak again. Bored with this now. 20 to 16. This is a tough fight. 20 to 16. That's why I say, you know, no matter how bad the scores, you can still get through fairly easily. Nonsense. Nonsense. This is a tough fight. And this is the best route. 20 to 15. Oh, I'm going to lose again at this rate. He's ahead of me on stamina again. 13 to 14, blimey. Puts him down to 10. Great. 22 to 15. Puts me down to 9 stamina. Tough fight this is. I mean, no way can you get... I mean, imagine if my skill were even 10. I would be finding this a lot more difficult even now. 21 to 18. This is painful. It's going to kill me again at this rate. 14 to 17, thank you. Gordon Bennett. No, it's 17, sorry. Puts them down to 8. 14 to 18. Puts them down to 6. 16 to 19. Here we go, I'm on a winning streak. It's down to 4. 13 to 18. Puts him down to 2. 18 to 17. Here we go. It's going to get a few hits in before the end. If there's an end. It's not outside the realms of possibility to get 3 hits in a row. 17 to 16. Here we go again. Alright, puts me down to 3. Oh, for the love of all things holy, come on. 16 to 17, thank you. Blimey, that is a tough fight. Right, finally, that giant sandworm is dead. I had to cheat as well. Gordon Bennett, that was hard. Right, okay, right, let's continue. Move the buzzing. Right, turn to 18. No, I didn't win, but I cheated, but that's the way it is. 18. Actually, I didn't show you the picture, did I? Hold on. There it is. There's the giant sandworm that killed me. Okay, 18. You chip off one of the sandworm's teeth, which may be useful as a weapon. Sandworm's tooth. Okay, brilliant. You tuck it into your belt and continue south. You walk steadily on until the sun sinks below the western horizon. Under the cloudless sky, the desert quickly becomes very cold. If you are able to cast a fire spell, turn to 177. If you have not learnt this spell, turn to 395. Okay, so it's going to put the next paragraph down as 18, and we'll decide whether we have a fire spell or not in the next video. So thanks for watching. Sorry about the cheating, but nothing I can do. It's just how the random number generator, RNG as they say, rolls, I'm afraid. I mean, sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. But that's a tough fight. That is a tough fight with high skill. Imagine how difficult that would have been if I had 10 skill or 9 skill. I mean, I'd be probably having to do that 3 or 4 times before beating it, which makes the cheating situation worse. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you can join me for part 3, and goodbye.